Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. And we always get started this way. We play our creed, something we live by. And that is, we don't worry, we work. We don't doubt, we believe. We don't make excuses, we hustle. We don't talk about it, we are about it. We don't follow, we lead. We don't do it to have, we do it to become. We're not victims, we take responsibility. We're not suckers, we earn our spot. We're not a statistics, we stand for something. We are not the clay, we are the potters. We design our own lives. Let's jump into the podcast, guys. Hope it can bring you some value today. Let's go. Hey guys, morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast, where we answer the question from our blog, our email list, or social media. My name is Lowen Motivator Car. I've been blogging on personal development. I do a couple of ebooks on personal development, personal finance. I'm in the personal development space. I think that it's my passion. It chose me. I didn't choose it, and I am honored to serve. I think it was Brian Tracy I heard with the saying that says the extent to which we spend our life in service to others will determine the value and the impact of our lives, and I truly believe in serving others. So I come here, we get questions individually, but I try to answer them in such a way so it can be at scale. Long after me, there can be something where someone can go to and it will help them in something they're going through. Mainly to add perspective. As a result of the molding of my perspective and experiences, it is an example for others. As you already know, that most of what we go through is common and many people have been through it before, and just one simple tweak, one simple perspective can save a lifetime of problems. Not because we don't know, but because we never thought about it in that way, because the mind can be under a lot of pressure and might not be fully optimized when there is stress, when there is problem, and it depending on the situation. So if we could get it from someone else in the times when our minds are unable to make that analysis, then we would still be able to have the information. Knowledge is power. Whether you call it power or potential power, knowing something creates a huge advantage as against when you don't know. So you need perspective, you need information, and that's what I'm here to do. So one of my readers asked me a couple weeks ago, how can I get rid of fear? So fear is real. There's a lot of talk and research and study about fear, but the facts are that, so fear is the noun, worrying is the verb. So let's kind of move in between those two places a bit. When we're fearful, it causes us to worry. Now, if we look at the statistics, I think George Bernard Shaw called it the fog of worry. That 60% of the things we worry about never happen. 30% are past experiences and based on past information we can do nothing about. And the other 10% is probably real worries. So most of the things we worry about actually never come through. He calls it the fog of worry. You can Google it and read about it, where he says that if you go 4 blocks with a fog that is thick enough to span 4 blocks, 500 feet in the air, if you should try to get water from it, you probably get a teaspoon of water. And he kind of juxtaposed that to fear, because it is an empty thing. It just clouds your mind, and it really doesn't have any substance to it. So fear is actually bad mind management, mental rehearsal, regurgitating the past, choosing to dwell on the things that you don't want to happen, dwell on the negative outcomes because of the way we're programmed and conditioned. Once you start to think of the things that might happen that's in a negative way, the bad things, the things that won't work out, your brain starts to release certain chemicals. Those chemicals put the body in a state of inaction. Inaction is not only the result of fear, inaction is also the cause of fear. It's because we don't act why we're so fearful. And when we don't act, when we don't, because we are fearful, why we don't act. If you get what I mean. It's because we don't act why we're overcome by fear. And when we're overcome by fear, we don't act. So inaction is not only the result of fear, it is a cause of fear. Now, yes, Lewin, fear is this and fear is that, but fear is real. I feel it. That's why I don't do it. I shiver. I get so choked up. I can't move. I feel my feet are like they're not on me. I feel so weak. I get that. But there is a part of you that can push through it. You have to start to create the chemical state in your body by acting, by doing, by asking yourself better questions. When you ask yourself better questions, it changes the chemical state of the mind, of the body, because of the chemicals that are released by the brain. What you think about determines what chemicals your brain produce. What chemicals your brain produce determine the way your body feels. You will not, I repeat, you will not, in most cases, if you're fearful about something, because we all are fearful about different things because of the way we are conditioned, you'll find one person who will get up and go in front of an audience and speak because they were conditioned that way. From earlier years in their homes, in their environment, people go up to speak, people approach people, people say hi, people meet people. It is normal for them, so it feels normal. Another person wasn't raised that way, it doesn't feel normal, so they are fearful because they were brought up, they're conditioned in the way to say that is bad, oh my God, what are they going to think, are they going to judge me, and all that sort of stuff. So it is a programming that we have. So we forget why we have it if we have it. Now, how do we get past it? Well, first you have to admit and realize that in order for me to get to what I want, to do what I have to do, these are the things that I will have to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. That's the first step. You write down those 5, 6, 7, even 20 things that you need to do to get to where you need to get. Even if you add to the list as you go along, but write them down. Circle the ones that you're fearful about. And then you start to ask yourself questions about what's the worst that can happen. Who is it that have done it that had these same fears? Now, what do I do when I feel this fear? When actually is the point when I feel most fearful? What physical positions and movements can I get my body into to reduce the effect of this emotional feeling on my body, to change the chemicals that's going through my body? So you start to ask yourself those type of questions. Once you start to ask yourself those type of questions, as I said before, your brain start to release different chemicals. Your body is in a different chemical state. What we usually do, we usually wake up in the morning and we used to start to think about, because we're in a habit and the same paradigm, we think about the same things that we thought about yesterday. Base. What if this can't pay? There's traffic. And our mind form neurological patterns that bring us back to the same thing every day, every time. So what it is when we're in a situation that we probably have failed before, we've seen people fear, or that's going to take away something from us, it brings our mind to that type of programming, and it starts to release the chemicals that bring our body into that physical state, and we go right back to the same things we used to do. That's why the greatest predictor of what you will do is what you're doing now and what you did, because the mind optimized to not do and to stay in comfort. Your mind is not designed to make you successful by default. You have to train it to make you successful. It is your biggest friend and your worst enemy. You have to know how to manage that. So how do you handle fear? As I said, you have to find the things that bring you into the state. You have to start to ask yourself better questions. Why? How? What can I do? Once you start to do that and you start to find the hacks, the physical movements to reduce that, then you move. You make a move. You act. If you act the smallest things, pick the smallest things you can do, pick the one thing you can do differently today, and you try to improve it. You make a conscious effort and a deliberate plan to push past your fear, because all that you will ever need is on the other side of your fear. All the successes, all the things that need to happen in your life is on the other side of your fear. It was Shakespeare who says that all our fears will melt away if we have the courage to confront them. Our doubts are like traitors that cause us to miss the good we might have achieved by failing to try. Fear cripples, but the real and the only difference between the man who is fearful and allow fear to take them over and the man who we see to be courageous, who push past their fear, is when in the moment of fear, when in the moment of hesitation, when in the moment of doubt and worry, the fearful man decides to stop and allow his brain to give him excuses and justifications of why he shouldn't, while the courageous man finds in his mind the reason why he has to do it, his why for doing it, and all the reasons why he can achieve it. The fearful man find all the reasons, who never stop, who stop right away, find all the reasons why it's not going to work, why he should not do it, while the courageous man still feels his fear. They're at the same mark, at the same line, but he finds reasons and he supplies mind with enough information as to why he's able to and why it will work. Face your fears. Do it. Act. Use a 5-second rule of Mel Robbins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next. Make a move. Start. Push past your fear. Get around people who are pushing past their fear. Ask yourself better questions and force the mind into the chemical state, and so that can become a norm. It become the normal for the mind. Have a good day. Always a pleasure. Thank you.